Today I'm trying out the Automatch, which matches you for a 4 to 6 player fixed card game. And without further ado, let's get it started. From what I saw is that I have quite a bit of troops in Australia, but the white player did as well, and a bit more, but I had the first turn. But before making any decision whether to go for Australia or not, I had to check out the white player's stats to predict what would be the most likely outcome. And judging by the stats alone, I predict that the white player is more of a low-ranked player, so probably wouldn't have been a good idea to contest for it with him, and then probably wouldn't have been a great idea to add my troops in Australia at the first place, as the white player had a bit more troops in it than me. And then he immediately sent me an alliance request, meaning that probably he wanted that I wouldn't go for Australia. So I decided not to and rather add my troops in North America. And I have no idea if I will actually get it, but I mean if not, then I could just switch my strategy to just building troops into one army, staying neutral and waiting till the continent having players will destroy each other. At least this is how it could usually happen playing with low-ranked players. Well, I would guess pink and white are more of a low-ranked players but not too lower, but the black player might be more of a higher-ranked player judging by the stats. So if anything, I think I should be mostly careful about him. Over here in the last turn, the black player could have left his Central American troops on the eastern United States territory, so I would have moved out my Venezuelan troops from South America, so neither of us would have had wasted our troops. So basically what we did with the white player, he made me the way, so I moved out, moving towards North America, so neither of us had to waste our troops. Anyway, that's weird with the pink player crushing 7 troops of mine when he could have crushed 4 troops of black to bring that army towards Europe. But it actually looks like Europe isn't even his plan. He went on the rampage crushing a bunch of my troops, so that makes sense now. Which actually made me as a very weak player, so that was actually very fortunate how it ended up for the pink player. And that actually might have been smart, as right now I'm a very weak player which could opponents easily get rid of with me not having a set at 4 cards, and with that easily and quickly get to the 3-player situation. So just the question is whether the pink player is targeting me for this, or some another reason. As usually playing with public randoms, you won't see things like that. If you don't bother them in some way, then they just leave you alone. And I mean, they can still attack you after getting a continent and establishing a good position, but to get attacked like I was by the pink player at the beginning of the game with him not even having a continent, I must admit was very weird indeed. And then with the black player crushing my 4 troops in Africa rather than 4 troops of white in South America to capture it. But let me know, what do you think? What I'm saying is not that either it's good or bad, what I have in mind that it's just unusual. But I mean, I haven't played a fixed card game in public lobbies for a while now, so maybe that's changed how the players usually play, so this is why I'm asking you. Anyway, too bad that the white player doesn't really help me out as an ally. I mean, he intends to move his troops out from North America, but it will mean nothing for me if the pink player will continue targeting me. After getting a bunch of troops crushed by the pink player, I told the white player to attack the pink player, but what he did instead is crushed 4 troops of the black player. Which is obviously smart, as assuming I and the pink player don't like each other, then in the white player's best interest it would be the best for him to try getting rid of black. But yeah, obviously I was not needed for the white player once I friendly moved out from Australia. He got the continent and is looking to expand himself. And pink is my own problem. With me being at 17 troops while the white player himself at 52, he casually said me to attack the pink player, so basically deal with the pink player yourself. He is not my problem. I could have easily invaded him into Europe, but I would rather prefer that you would self-destroy yourself on him. And I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a smart play by the white player. As obviously while the black player is a passive turtling player, and while the pink player is an aggressive player whose main goal is to target me, it's in the best white's interest to expand himself and starting to get more troops, as nobody would pay the attention to him anyway, so as long as he doesn't attack anyone himself. so he might actually end up holding Asia, which is crazy. Anyway, I tried sending the attack requests for white and black to attack pink, but obviously why would they when the pink player wants to eliminate me? I tried making the alliance with the pink player himself as well, but the pink player hasn't responded to it, so basically letting me understand that he isn't going to change his mind, and with that all of that with me being so much weaker than others, I think nothing's left for me but just to accept my fate of getting taken out first. And I think the pink player might just crush his army into me even right now. And yeah, this is what I was expecting. So I just think the pink player should have waited for another turn. So he would have completely taken me out, getting my cards, and with that trading in the set in the same turn, since I would have had 3 then. Anyway, if anyone, I would have preferred the white player taking me out after the pink player crushed his biggest army into me. As after all he at least pretended to be a good ally, or maybe even genuinely cared for a little bit, well, not that much to help me deal with pink, but at least we had some sort of an alliance when the pink player was targeting me, and while the black player at first intended to help out pink but then changed his strategy of being a passive turtling player. So I sent the white player some hearts saying to attack my territories if he needs to, so he wouldn't feel bad of taking me out. As that would actually be the right decision, and with me being barely alive there would have been 0 chances for me to survive anyway. But I guess the white player didn't have a set at 4 cards, and being cut off from me he couldn't have used his existing armies either. Anyway, let's spectate the game to see who wins. I'm wondering whether it was worth the pink player the sacrifice or not. Well, I mean, the pink player is good either way, as he as a low-ranked player finishes above a high-ranked Grandmaster, so he should get the ranking points even if finishing in the 3rd place. But it looks like the pink player is just done with this game, self-destroys on white and doesn't care to win from what I would guess. So that's actually sad and frustrating for me to get targeted and then getting taken out by the player who doesn't even want to play to win. Or maybe he thought it would actually be good, as I mean, after the black player didn't even invade the white player into Asia despite black being so much stronger than the pink player. But probably it wasn't a good idea for the pink player to straightly crush his army into me at the first place, as that gave a big advantage to the white player, and he would have been even in a bigger advantage if he had gotten a set to take me out. And then if he hadn't unleashed the black player's Brazilian army, as he could have definitely avoided doing so, and with that, with the black player not having a set at 4 cards, the white player would have definitely won. But now, the white player lost a lot of his advantage, but even despite that he could still win. Anyway, my hypothesis would be, after playing this Automatch game and a few progressive card games in public lobbies recently, is that I became too much recognizable. I mean, some of the viewers commented that they were in my games and that they were this or that player. And those are the ones who played well. I assume the ones who are targeting me wouldn't comment. But I mean, it's probably not really fair for me anymore to play on my main account multiplayer games in public lobbies until the developers introduce the camouflage mode or something like that. It's just not fun when I'm always getting targeted with players wanting to rather finish above me over actually winning the game. And then at the same time, it wouldn't be that much fun when someone recognizing me will help me to win either. In the game I just want to be treated like everyone else, to not have any disadvantage or advantage because of my name. And I mean, not necessarily I might get targeted by someone recognizing me. Besides that, there is also the verification mark next to my name, which brings a lot of attention as well, and then people who check my stats will see that I'm very decent player as well. And then probably all of these cosmetics and avatar makes me stand out over other players as well. But maybe I'm just too paranoid. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. But personally, I feel I would do much better playing on an alternative account which wouldn't be recognized by anyone.